So, in order to understand the nature of English, we have to understand its history. English is the child of two languages, the Germanic Anglo-Saxon tongue indigenous to the British Isles, and the French language, which came via the Norman conquest of 1066. Now, the Normans were actually Vikings who had settled in the northwest of France about 100 years earlier, but they had integrated very quickly with the local population, and the language they spoke was almost completely French, with only maybe 5% of vocabulary were from Old Norse. So this was very much a Romance language that they brought over to England when they conquered it. So the Normans came in and won and started ruling England, and their language became the language of authority, of the kingdom. But most of the peasant stock were still speaking the Anglo-Saxon tongue. Now, very quickly, the two languages merged into what would become English, but the remnants of this sort of class divide are still very evident in our language. For instance, the name of a farm animal will usually be Anglo-Saxon, and the name of its meat will be French. This makes sense because the people raising the pigs and cows were Germanic Anglo-Saxon peasants, and the people eating it in the castles were Norman Frenchmen. So you have cow, Germanic, Kuh, and then you have beef, boeuf, clearly from the French. This collision of the two linguistic traditions also means that English is a uniquely versatile language. There are always going to be two ways to say things. One of them is going to be derived from Latin via French. It's probably going to be multisyllabic. It's probably going to be fancy, coded as upper class to this day. And the other is going to be Anglo-Saxon. It's going to be much more to the point, probably going to be one syllable, more of a common man kind of sound. So for a big meal with lots of people, you could say banquet, or you could say feast. When you're building something, you could build, or you can construct. The great Argentine writer Jorge Luis Borges, who spoke and read in many languages, considered English the finest language he knew because of this double register quality, this versatility of the language to account for both of these aspects of human experience: the physical, direct, everyday side of life, and the spiritual, mental, abstract, elevated side of life. The genius of the English language, its spirit, its uniqueness, is how it is able to marry these two areas of life and the way it distinguishes them, where the real original thing usually has a Germanic word and its reflection will have a Latin word.